Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another Warcraft replay. Here we are on the Netease ladder once again. And yeah, this is going to be between Infi and 120. 120 spawning in as the blue Undead in the top left. And Infi is also going to be spawning... Oh wait, okay, I got the colors mixed up. This is easy to fix. There we go, bam. 120, the blue Undead in the bottom right. And Infi, the red Undead in the top left. My mistake. Got these two players mixed up. I was wondering whether or not this was 120's alternate account, but I guess yeah, it makes sense that this is Infi's. Even though actually Infi's account names are pretty hard to remember. Obviously 120 on his I think this is pretty much his main account. The what is it? ER0, ER0, whatever. But yeah, lots of stuff popping down for 120 here. It is going to be, I'm pretty sure, just actually I guess it's a little too early to see if the graveyard will be placed down or not, but yeah, Infi on the other hand went for a graveyard first, so potential Tavern Hero, I don't know, but 120 is gonna go for a Dreadlord first, so very interesting already. So Dreadlord most likely going to be a mass school opening for himself. I only chose this one because of the interesting hero picks, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course Infi is playing Undead, so why the hell not? So altar has finished, no one's moving to the tavern, so it might just be a bit of a late first hero from Infi. Graveyard already out, and it seems we're just going to be two-ghouling it for now. Whether or not he will place down an Acropolis for the Ziggurat replacement, we shall see, but the first Crypt Fiend won't actually be met with a hero just yet, so a little curious to see how Infi is going to do this. Dreadlord comes out and is moving out with his first gang of ghouls. Gonna go for the Merc camp here. I'm not sure if 120 wants a priest or not, since he doesn't have a Death Knight, but we shall see if that is going to happen, and it does indeed happen for himself. No skeleton stick just yet. I guess he doesn't want to, or no usage just yet. I guess he doesn't want to go find a little pig to kill, but Dark Ranger first for Infi. So yeah, right off the bat, both players going for rather unorthodox builds here. Backpack is going to be researched, and the Crypt, the Fiend is going to be transferring over a Skeleton Stick. Dark Ranger going to be a very effective farming hero here, able to summon those skeletons and of course add some DPS and tanking to them. Dreadlord on the other hand have to make his own skeletons with the Rod of Necromancy there, is going to get level 2 and is going to benefit off very much with that Vampiric Aura. So yeah, aside from the game, 1.30, wow. It was announced a lot earlier than I expected, but yep, always keen to see how it will change the meta. 1.29 definitely changed some things around, i.e. the lack of Blade Masters, I guess, in certain matchups, but yeah, I mean, the Blade Master was probably the biggest hit in 1.29, but the second one, I guess, or yet again from 1.30, I'm very excited about Spirit Walkers being transferred over to the Turin Totem, so I am looking forward to seeing any potential Turin Warriors popping out for future Warcraft games, and we're going to have an extremely aggressive skeleton harassment here from Infi. Is going to bring over a lot of skeletons. Not sure how much they're going to do since they don't really fare well against ghouls, but they're going to go straight after those acolytes. No early tier 2 for 120 as he did place down a Haunted Goldmine before. Is he going to lose an acolyte or two? It seems like they are still pretty good alive. But at least they do disrupt some of the mining at least, so that is kinda good. And here comes, and yeah, it looks like the expansion will not be finished for 120, and that is an extremely early TB, but that is only because the Dreadlord went for a counterattack here. Dark Ranger is gonna get slipped as the skeletons and ghouls. Is that Book of the Dead? That is actually Book of the Dead being used. So gonna go straight after those acolytes, constantly sleeping the Dark Ranger there. Dreadlord able to get about a couple, 2 or 3 acolytes for himself, but now that he is kind of blocked off, he really is forced to use that TP scroll. There we go, dust has been used, and now gonna retreat there for 1-2-0. I didn't actually realize the Dreadlord picked up Book of the Dead, probably from this camp, since it's probably the only camp to get it from. This one's still alive, so yeah, that was rather surprising. I mean, like, most of the ghouls were at home defending, so I was wondering what the Dreadlord was doing, but it seems like he got his own instant army there. So, nicely done. Not much gain for Infi, to be honest. He did cancel this expansion, at least the gold mine at least, but yeah, he wasn't able to snipe any of those acolytes. He lost a couple on his own, so it's a bit of a yikes there, and yeah, now he's a little bit behind, not even taking to tier 2. He might go for an early expand as well, as his acolyte is moving out, so yikes. I mean, we haven't seen Undead mirrors in quite some time, so it is very jarring to see early expands coming from both sides. But yeah, no replacement TP scroll. That might be a bit of a problem, since I guess Infi could go for a counterattack whenever he wants to. Skeletons are going to move up. Is the colors wrong? Yeah, there we go. The colors were wrong for some reason. The creep camps were red, which really confused me. It looked like they belonged to Infi, but yeah, my bad. Skeletons going for the acolytes once again, and it seems like they won't be able to get any. Oh, level 2 skeletons are moving up as well, so Dark Ranger is level 3, Dreadlord just hit level 4, so he is looking pretty good compared to the Dark Ranger, because yeah, that Renegade Wizard gave him a whole load of experience there. Acolytes being attacked by skeletons might actually be able to kill one finally. We'll see, because Infi's success rate on killing these guys is actually really bad. There we go, one falls, but here comes possible counter. Sentry Ward gets placed down, but is that pretty much going to be it? Dreadlord can't really do too much by himself, and all he's doing is actually taking damage. Dark Ranger hitting about 25% on level 4. Dreadlord is about 25% away from level 5, so yikes. Infernal might be a bit of a problem for for Infi to deal with if this game doesn't go his favor very soon. Skeleton's still being rather annoying. Ziggurat's still taking a while, so no Nerubian Tower or Spirit Tower on their way. Ghouls apparently were too busy creeping instead of defending, so we'll see if that actually has an effect, but yeah, I mean, there's not much else to talk about. Tier 2 is not even done, so we can't really see what their second heroes are going to be, and mass ghouls are not exactly exciting to watch. Skeleton might be able to pick up an acolyte. Nope, very close, but alas, I guess Infi just has to deal with one acolyte kill there. Finally got level 5, so I don't know where he got that from. Maybe he picked up a low straggler, but that will give him level 3 sleep, or is it level 3 or okay, so Aura's still level 1, and he most likely has level 3 sleep, so it's probably he probably has a point in Carrion Swarm as well, so we'll see how he uses this. Carrion Swarm will be a huge amount of damage. There we go. Yikes, that was a lot. That might actually be more than level 1 Carrion Swarm, if I'm not mistaken, but there we go. Scroll of the Beast. That is going to be a huge swarm of ghouls going up against those Crypt Fiends there. Infi kind of needs to back off because he doesn't really have any way of saving his guys. Carrion Swarm will be able to pick up yet another kill, and yeah, the Dark Ranger herself. Oh dear, Infi got his Dark Ranger surrounded, and that is not going to be a good turn of events. It seems like the wall has broken itself, however, so yeah, that is going to be, I guess, a safe Dark Ranger. Crypt Fiend is gonna get killed off. Infi doing a nice job blocking, so unless the Dreadlord pops a mana pot that he doesn't have, so yeah, that might just be a Crypt Fiend living. Unless the Skeleton Stick gets used. Oh, wrong corpse there, but yeah, that is not going to be a dead Crypt Fiend anytime soon, as the wall has been formed. Dreadlord just retreats back to his ghouls, and now this might be a bit of a problem if... Oh, actually no, Shredder gets hired up, so things are not looking too good for 1-0 to stick around for.
Upgrade complete.
Both players have a lot of gold, but I guess Tier 2 has just finished, Tier 3 on the way for at least 1-2-0, so... Okay. Second hero being queued up, not yet, but we might have a second hero here from the tavern for Infi. Or not, I guess not. Sticking around here, I guess no second hero for the Dark Ranger. Oh, is that triple crypt? That is triple crypt into gargoyles there, so that will deal a lot with those destroyers, but if those destroyers ever get a good number, like maybe 2 or 3, and of course their mana, then those gargoyles might not be strong enough to completely obliterate them. And of course Crypt Fiends can just whip them, so bit of a risk going for triple crypt into gargoyles, but you can see that massive amount of damage from the Carrion Swarm there. Dreadlord, good chunk of experience, about 40% of his way there. Interesting that mass gargoyles is the decision for 1-2-0. We'll see how effective they are. They're not that great compared to flying machines because they are melee versus anti-air, so I mean, if the destroyers can kite very well, gargoyles won't be too effective. Of course they'll be really good at annoying those acolytes, but I mean, once those Crypt Fiends get their auto web, which it seems like they already have, so 1-2-0 needs to be extremely careful about his control of those gargoyles there. Get rid of Dark Minion, that means the Dark Ranger is at level 5. Does lose a Crypt Fiend, however, because Carrion Swarm apparently is very, very powerful. Another sleep goes down, and yeah, just pick up the litter there for the Dreadlord. Might be able to pick up a 3rd Crypt Fiend for himself. Is gonna deny. No, he's gonna try his best to block, which might actually just happen since yeah, the Dreadlord is out of mana. And here comes a Death Knight for... It seems both sides got a Death Knight, so second hero Death Knight there for the Death Coils. And it works for Infi because Dark Ranger can be hit by the Death Coils as well. Tier 3 nearly done. Tier 3 is already done for 1-2-0, so no Sword House as far as I can see. He is upgrading Stone Form for his Gargoyles and Frenzy for his Ghouls, so wow, very, very tier 1-ish army composition for 1-2-0. I like it. Gargoyles can... I'm pretty sure they can get rid of the web after turning into Stone Form, but a very nice surround, forcing that Death Knight to TP back. Yeah. Double Crypt Fiends and still Obsidian Statues, so I do like how Infi is going to deal with this threat. He is just going to go for as many Crypt Fiends as possible, try and web as many of them down, and then the destroyers can clean up shop. Yeah, which makes me really afraid about 1-2-0's army comp, because it's so frail for those gargoyles, because they just get absolutely obliterated by those destroyers. So I'll keep an eye on that. But Lich coming out 3rd hero for Infi. I think 1-2-0 is not deciding on 3rd hero just yet. but here comes the Dreadlord with the invis pot, so he is most likely going for this base or this base for a Carrion Swarm. Level 2 Death Knight, Unholy Aura is going to be active for the red undead player. Dreadlord still moving around. He is... I don't know what he's doing. I think going for the workers might be a lot more effective, but we shall see. He might even pick up a kill on the Death Knight if he wants to. Oh, Carrion Swarm there. Death Knight doesn't really have any form of escape, aside from, I guess, Dark Ranger coming to save the day and silencing the Dreadlord, so failed attempt there for 120. Almost gets himself killed with a Frost Nova, but it is only a level 1 Frost Nova, so it's not too powerful just yet. But I was expecting him to go for some Acolytes himself. He was very close to getting the Death Knights, but yeah, I mean, the Dreadlord, so many missed kills, because he has to wait for the Carrion Swarm cooldown. Alright, he's moving around. We do have a Temple of the Damned, and the Banshees will be very, very helpful for dealing with the Carrion Swarm, which Dreadlord just retrained, gets level 2 Aura, and I think he just went level 3 Carrion Swarm, so let's see how well he does here. There we go. Unable to one-shot those Acolytes, but yeah, I guess it's good enough. One more hit, and then he can actually just deal with it. And it seems like buildings aren't mechanical, so at least Carrion Swarm can't affect those buildings. That is good to know. I was wondering what if buildings were counted as mechanical or not, but so far I think it's just siege weapons that are mechanical and the statues as well. Dreadlord kind of split away from his main army, which right now I think Infi looks like he has the more populated army. 73 versus 54. Nice little Carrion Swarm there to pick up a kill, I think, but yeah, this is still very scary to walk up to. Nerubian Tower is trying their best to quell those ghouls, but here we go. Mass ghouls versus mass ghouls and gargoyles versus mass crypt fiends and ghouls. No destroyers in the air just yet because those gargoyles still be a bit of a problem. Scroll of Protection is going to be used for the blue side here as Silence has been cast onto the Dreadlord. First statue goes down, and that is very, very huge for 120's side. Army supply is looking pretty bad for Infi. 120 at least is producing a lot more than Infi can replace, but yeah, I think that's just because 120 retreated with all his low hit point units, and now things are looking pretty good for Infi right now, despite him losing a lot more units compared to his opponent. Nice little Carrion Swarm there, very close to taking at least one of those Crypt Fiends down, but mana is now a problem, and with no statues he has to constantly buy from the Tomb of Relics, which is not very sustainable, and the ghouls, gargoyles constantly get whipped. Boneyard on the way is still a bit of a head scratcher to me because Frost Worms can be quickly taken down with a whip as well, so yeah, huge predicament for 120 to be in. Army supply for Infi has gone back up to 73 once again. The Dreadlord TPs to purchase a mana pot, which he desperately needs. Frostworm is up, but I would be very scared to deal with that kind of army as a Frostworm. Dreadlord moving in for another Carrion, but yeah, thanks to Unholy Aura and being on top of Blight, they can just heal that up very nicely. Slow siege, but at least it is going to be a siege. Acolytes take the risk of getting Nova'd if they do repair, but another Carrion Dreadlord trying its best. He really needs that level 6 for an Infernal, but he just can't get enough kills to get that last bit of experience. Another Carrion is going to happen, and a final push, possibly a push to level 6 here. Frostworm is going to get webbed down to the ground and quickly bursted down, so Nice, huge meaty kill there for Infi, and he retreats with the TP scroll. So, yeah, rather disastrous for 120. Unable to get that level 6, and he lost a lot of infrastructure at his base. He did lose a shop, which I guess he did replace, and he lost a crypt, which he still has plenty of, so I guess that's not too much of a problem there. But yeah, losing that Frostworm without actually converting into any gain is kind of bad. There we go, level 6, so that is going to be a huge power spike if you can get the mana for it, if you can afford to use it, rather than going for a couple more Carrion Swarms. But here we go here, Infernal gonna drop, huge hit here. That is gonna be a very, very good stun, but can he convert? I see a lot of curses coming down on 120's army. Wow, curses just absolutely destroy 120 right now, as he is gonna be forced to TP back, as, yeah, not, I mean, yikes, that was a lot of ghouls being cursed, but yeah, that is just disastrous. I would have thought that Banshees would have run out of mana due to how many ghouls are on the field, but they've hit a good number, so I guess anything is good enough. Infernal trying its best to do some conversion, but yeah, 'cause he's getting quickly bursted down thanks to that armor reduction from the Orb of Corruption there, so not finding too much success. I thought level 6 might have turned things around a lot more for 120, but yeah, I think it's just down to the army comps here. And I mean, come on, like mass ghouls and gargoyles versus a tier 2, tier 3 comp, that technically doesn't bode too well. And all those units getting the green bubbles, so Carrion Swarm is not going to be able to hit that many units anymore. So yeah, this might look like a done deal for 120, despite having an ultimate ability. The Infernal is nearly dead, and yeah, Infi just had a better army comp, to be honest.
Our forces are under attack.
Still producing more Frostworms here, but honestly it's kind of pointless. The Frostworms get quickly countered thanks to the auto webs, so I don't know if 120 could have like changed his army comp away from air units, because Crypt Fiends do just so well too against them, but yeah, he chose to stick with it, and now he is going to pay for it because Frenzy Ghouls just not enough compared to this many Crypt Fiends. Acolytes trying to find refuge, but they are just gonna get intercepted. Infi not really caring about any certain set of morals here, as this game should be done. Infernal is running out very soon, so might see the return of a new Infernal. But here we go with the huge fight. Those ghouls with the vampiric aura trying their best, but with about 30 supply difference. Can this be enough? That is a lot of ghouls, to be honest, so Infi might just get swarmed, we shall see, but Frost Nova hits very, very deadly. And right now, Infi trying his best to kite as he can. Still about 30-40 supply difference there. Another Infernal pops, and I mean, Infi is being pushed back, so 120 is looking good for now, but there's still so many units, and that is just gonna be 120 leaving, as yeah, Infi just wins with a standard comp. 120 unable to execute well with his new innovation, I guess that's what I call it. So yep, that is gonna be it. Dark Ranger did hit level 6, but I guess we didn't see any possessions being used or charms being used. I don't know. You're charming undead units as an undead player, so like it's not like it's very easy to see. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again next time.